What up, homie? This one is a short video on celebrating or transitioning into the second quarter of 2023. And some of the things that I've learned recently that I feel like are very impactful, and it might be valuable for you that you're watching and listening. So the first thing is that working on yourself does not necessarily that's a simp. Buys motorcycle, makes it loud as fuck. Beta. Beta. If you know, you know. Beta. Yo, okay. So, bro, working on yourself does not necessarily mean that it's a lonely journey. And here's the deal. I've met somebody that basically shared with me this idea of like, you know, a lot of us, all of us, we cope a lot. We have coping mechanisms. Alcohol or a fucking vape, which by the way, you don't need a vape. You can breathe air. You don't need a vape. Damn, bro. You know, vaping can be also just like that fucking annoying motorcycle. Just unnecessary. So, look, the concept of like hanging out with yourself and actually liking it to the point where you feel like you're so cool in your own skin, in your home base or in your private place. You know, I just learned this shit. I'm 28 years old, and I never thought that like being alone, like right now, alone, it could be a dope thing to do, like a cool thing to do. You know, it's just like people don't usually go and post on Instagram, you know, just chilling with myself. Because when you're chilling with yourself, you're not necessarily looking for validation, you know, because if anything, you're looking for your own validation. So you just don't post about it because it's a me type thing. You know, this is sort of an emotional thing for me to share. Like, if you have the concept in your mind, if you have this idea that I used to have for so long, I mean, come on, I'm 28 and I just learned this concept of like being by myself. It's a cool thing to do. Like, you could look forward for it, you know, like, so I was just saying, like, we cope a lot. We'll be going out with friends just because we don't really want to chill alone. We might be going out to parties because we're bored. And I don't want to make this fucking video long, all right? But this one's for my homies. This one's for my homies. And if you struggle with that shit like I used to, or like I struggle with that shit sometimes. Sometimes I just feel lonely, right? But it can be that I also just don't want to chill with myself because maybe there are some things about myself that I don't quite like as much as I'd like to. And it ebbs and flows. It's ups and downs, right? Like sometimes I could be by myself and I'm content and at peace because I'm paying attention to the things that I actually like about myself. For example, just like being happy and dancing by myself, putting on some happy music and just looking at the mirror, put on some silly glasses and just dance. Then I'm totally cool, you know, being with myself. But then it could be another day that I'm just thinking that I'm lonely because I'm not in a relationship. And I was used to being in a relationship, the companionship and the validation of it. So that's the one thing, you know, this is sort of a common sense type of thing, but common sense is not so common, and some things you just don't really know until you say them or until somebody else says those things to you. Like specifically the concept of like not wanting to disconnect from yourself. Like there are people in this world so happy with themselves that the idea of smoking weed or like changing their biochemistry in any way, shape, or form is not that attractive because of the disconnection that they get from themselves. Bro, what? Exactly. That is a dope thing to think about. And that's a dope thing to believe. Yo, I don't want to go out and drink alcohol because I don't want to disconnect with myself. I'll be, you know, changing how I act, how I think. I may be doing some things that I wouldn't do if I wasn't drunk or tipsy. Or just think about all of the things that you do or could do on drugs that you wouldn't do without the drugs. I don't know, man. This is all just like being happy and content. Man, I'm on this journey to, you know, to get to that mental state where like sometimes I may be drinking alcohol because I'm bored or nervous about being in social dynamics, truthfully. But what if I was just not so excited about drinking because it might disconnect me from me? Oh man, that's the opposite. That's literally the opposite way of how I've been doing things. And I think this is the way. So I'm extremely happy that this information got to me before 30. So like I'm still laying the foundations of like, you know, the rest of my fucking life. So just very grateful. And it's already almost 10 minutes. I have 3 points to share that I've learned throughout Q1 of 2023. So I'm just gonna continue. And if you like to hang out, homie, you're the man. You are the man, bro. Talking to the homies on this one. So, second thing is, I'm very worried about the future of the family unit. You know, the meaning of a family unit, where there are two roles. There's a male role and a female role, different responsibilities, different expectations, you know, opposite forces in a way. There's a divine balance. I feel like a lot of males now want to be females, and a lot of females now want to be males, and the whole idea of equality, you know, we're the same, there are no differences. This is worrying me because I just feel like it's, instead of bringing us together as a society, it's pulling us apart. And I don't know what's going to happen with the future of our children. So I worry a lot about the male archetype, you know, like, because I am a man. If I wear a woman, if I were a female, then I'll be worried about that. I'll be worried about the female archetype. So on Q1 of 2023, it just got super clear to me that as a man, I'm sort of going against the current of things. Like, society wants me, or is pushing this agenda of me, like, painting my nails or just acting less manly. Just don't express my masculinity completely, because that might upset a trans or a feminist, you know. Yeah, that's too manly, that's macho, too macho. You don't get to express that shit anymore. So it just feels like out there in society right now, being a man fully, sort of a bad thing. So that is another thing. I feel like I'm going against the current. I feel like society, or the matrix, I don't know how to call it, but like the governments, or like whoever has the control of this fucking society, the power, you know, of decision making, I feel like they're confusing us. I feel like, yeah, I don't know, very worried about the future of the family unit. And it's fucking sad because I cherish the idea of becoming a dad one day. And I also liked the idea of getting married, but then getting married became this stupid thing for men to do because it got weaponized. You know, if you get married, you are in a tactical disadvantage. And I feel like that whole contract was also created by people that had an agenda where a female can have more power, but at the same time, in a long enough timeline, it essentially destroys the trust and the willingness for your average man to grow and sacrifice and become the best version that he can be, so that then he can get married and be stable and whatnot. And when the man loses interest in getting married, then, you know, females can get more programmed to look for empowerment and individuality. And that is exactly what's happening. So just some sad shit. On one side, I'm extremely, you know, excited about just the idea of how much more can I grow and evolve and become a better man overall and a better human. But I just feel like as a man, for you to sacrifice, to wake up early in the morning, to study, to be funny and smooth talking. Oh, yo, that's thunders. Those are thunders. Damn. Costa Rica. Maybe I'll give you a little bit more of the city. Nice. So, yeah, there are not many incentives for a man to get married anymore, amigos. Before, it was a matter of, like, you know, to start, you get married because then you can finally have sex. Now, you know, it's a matter of, like, people can just do whatever they want. So that is no longer an incentive. The other incentive was that man could have purpose in a woman's life by being a provider, protector, a leader. But now, not anymore, because women don't need man. So, what kind of man is able to get married to a woman knowing that he ultimately has no purpose on that woman's life? Long term. So he's just gonna be like what? Like a woman. Like just being in the moment, just feeling things. It's not about creating resources or building things. It's about the feel of the moment, having fun, living life, And for a man to be just like that, I think that's a beta. Yeah, I feel like men want to create things, They want to build things like this building, this bed, the pillows, the streets. They want to build things. They want to create resources. And what's behind that is purpose. Purpose. Walking on purpose. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Thing is, I feel like a man who can get married to a woman that's so independent and ultimately does not need him, it's a beta. So she's gonna ultimately cheat on that motherfucker. Because why would a woman stay loyal to a beta? Why would a woman stay loyal to a beta? Why would they? So it just feels, it is not woman's fault and it is not the man's fault. Well, I feel like it's the man's fault. The ones in control of all of this shit. And just the average man not doing their best to become their best version. Well, we have a lot of weak men around. A lot of weak men, programmable man, agreeable man, followers. We have no more rebels, outliers. If there is an outlier or a rebel in social media or in society right now, they get canceled. So like all the heroes are getting killed. So I said I had 3 things to share about Q1. The first one, I repeat, the concept of like you not being excited about the idea of consuming alcohol or weed or any type of drug or just doing any type of your coping mechanisms because you don't want to disconnect from you. Just imagine how great of a relationship you have with yourself, man. That's the first one. The second one is just that I feel like the Matrix is trying to kill the family unit. And the third one, I totally forgot. The third one, I totally forgot. It doesn't matter. It's already 20 minutes. But yeah, those are 2 things, eh? At least 2 things. Yo, bro, if you're feeling anxious, insecure, worried, fearful, it is time to evolve and improve, my friend. It is time for you to do research in terms of what is the male role and what is the female role and the traditional way of doing things, not the modern transgenderism, WHQ. I keep forgetting the letters of that shit. What is it? gay, trans, be careful. Be careful. And do some push-ups, bro. Study, drink water. I'm not the best one in terms of the diet types of things, but now I'm understanding a lot of the chemicals that the industry is adding onto our foods, bro. They want us stupid. They want us stupid. They want us programmable. They want us following. We gotta go against all that shit. Much love to you. If you watched all of this video, then good shit. And you know, I'm gonna try to make these videos better. It's time. Cheers.